Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the WBBL review. I am joined by Nottingham Wildcats star Kennedy Nicholas. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
So today we're just going to talk about you and get to know you a little bit better. We've got our quick fire questions as normal. We've got some questions from the fans and just my normal kind of questions that we talked about last season, talk about the season to come. Let's start with where were you born? Where are you from?
Yeah, so I'm from Seattle, Washington. More specifically, I'm from a place called Kirkland. It's actually the home of Costco. So I think that's quite fun to say. I was born and raised there, and I am currently in my childhood home. So,
Nice. So yeah, home of Costco. That is a good claim to fame, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a fun little icebreaker.
So when did you start playing basketball?
Yeah, so I'm the shortest in my family. So both my parents played collegiately in the NCAA as well as overseas. And so I started playing the second I could walk. I think my first organized basketball was when I was 3.
Wow.
My parents were both coaching together at a junior college here in Seattle. And so I grew up in the gym. My brother and I would run around and throw the little balls at each other. And so I grew up with it. I've been playing 20 years, 22 years of my whole life.
Is your brother older than you or younger?
He's older than me. He's 2.5 years older, and he doesn't play basketball, but he does snowboard. So he is active.
So a very sporting family.
Yes, of course. Very tall, very sporty.
Your parents came to see you play last year, didn't they, in Newcastle?
Yeah, they came to watch us play Durham at home and Newcastle away back in April. So they had never been to the UK, never seen me over there the 2 years I've lived there. So it was really special and very special games. That was when we were having our good hot streaks. So It was really fun to have them there.
So would you say your parents were your biggest inspirations kind of growing up? Obviously they're from a basketball kind of background.
Yeah, I would say so. They've both been incredibly supportive. They have never forced me to do anything that I didn't want to do. I've always wanted to play club basketball. I've always wanted to do hours and hours of training. It's just, they always gave me the opportunity. Every stage, they said, do you want to do this? Do you want to play high school? Do you want to play club? Do you want to play college? So I think them being so positive and focused on my well-being rather than pushing me to be a basketball player has really inspired me to actually, maybe it was reverse psychology and this is what they wanted all along, but it really allowed me to make this my choice and for me to go after it myself rather than in their favor, I think.
So, I mean, it sounds like it was always basketball. Did you play any other sports when you were younger?
Yeah, I grew up playing, well, we call it soccer, but football and softball. And then I played, well, I'm 6'2", so you have to play volleyball at some point. But I didn't take to any of it. And my parents didn't like watching games outside. So they said, can you choose an indoor sport? It's cold here. So just basketball was my favorite. I couldn't do non-contact sports. I didn't feel like I was doing anything in volleyball. So I didn't like it as much.
When did you join your first team and what were they called?
Oh, man. I started playing with the YMCA, so the Youth of America teams when I was 5. I do not remember what they were called, but in 5th grade, so when I'm about 7 or 8, I played on it was our first select team, so it's the first team you had to try out for. And we were the Vikings.
Nice.
And I'm still in good contact with a lot of those girls today. So it must have been a good team.
Do you do a lot of basketball within school, like schooling in America? Is that how it works? Did you play like in PE lessons and that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of where I'm from, at least. It is kind of our version of football. It's just everyone plays it. Yeah. There's courts everywhere. So it was a really popular, and it's cheap. You just need a ball. And if you're outdoors, you don't really need the shoes. So in my neighborhood, at least, I think 3 of the 10 houses had basketball hoops, and it was just so common at my school. So I just think everyone does it growing up, very similar to football in England.
Yeah. So 7, 8, when you found your first team, where did it develop from that point?
Yeah. So the way it works in this area is your select team is kind of like your academy, U14s, U18s. So you follow one team, your high school team, all the way up. So I stuck in that system because that's where I went to school. Luckily, it was a very good academic school. So there was just so many people that went there that we were actually quite good. We had a McDonald's All-American on my high school team. And so growing up 1 year below someone so successful who went to the University of Washington, it's just kind of hard to leave. It's such a good environment, and you're just competitive at every level when you're in 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. So when you join high school in 9th grade, you start playing with the seniors and the U18s. And so I was just always a part of it. And I feel like once you've connected with a group of girls, it's really hard to leave unless something malicious happens.
Yeah.
So I just stayed with my school. It was Inglemoor. And all 5 of the starting 5 my junior year played in the NCAA. So it was hard to walk away from something so special. Mm-hmm. So it just developed quite naturally. And it was just so competitive that I just felt very special to be a part of it.
And then the next step after that was at college?
Yeah. So then I was recruited through my club team, which isn't associated with the school, but I tried out with them, and I'd been with them for a few years. And that's what you do in the spring and summer, and you travel around for exposure. So I was recruited by a few schools, but I ended up visiting Sacramento State, so California State University at Sacramento, and I gut feeling had to attend. The weather alone, I was like, I have to move here. I need this in my life. And so I fell in love instantly, and actually was verbally committed to another school in the same conference, and ended up decommitting and recommitting to Sac State. I had to be there. It just felt right to me. So that's what happened.
I mean, you do realize you're playing in England now. The weather's not so good.
It's the same as Seattle. So I think you guys would jump at the, 25, 30 all the time. It's perfect.
So talk us through your college years. What was it like? What experiences did you have? Yeah.
I think it's kind of rare now, unfortunately. I was at a Division I, but I was at a mid-major. So it wasn't, I'm not played in the same conference as Stanford, but still Division I. So we played a lot of very good top 25 teams in preseason. I've played Arizona State and West Virginia and Kentucky, and I had a really good time, and I stayed there for all 4 years, which is quite rare now, to be so committed to a school, even through ups and downs. I didn't play my freshman year. I think I averaged 2 minutes, and then 8 minutes my second year. Third year, I became a starter, and for a brief period in time, I actually led the nation in rebounding as well as offensive rebounding, which I think became a theme in my career as I led the conference my last 2 years in rebounding. I was always top 10 in points once I started playing. I really liked the idea of going to a school that I had to work to be good. I couldn't just show up and start. I always felt like that was a bit of a cop-out. You're not doing the work to be there. So Sac State was a very good balance to me, in the fact that I still had to do 2.5 years of grueling training and work and learning to be able to be who I am now. So I stayed there with the same 4 coaches all 4 years, and they're gone now. Their contract ended 2 years after I left. And so I'm not sure where they are now, but I really enjoyed the experience. My senior year, I unfortunately had a season-ending injury with 10 games to go. So I didn't get to 1,000 points. I didn't get to 1,000 rebounds. I'm at like 960 something for both of them. So that's not great, but I had to sit out the last 12 games. I sat out my senior night. I sat out the conference tournament, and that was really tough. So it did inspire me to come overseas. I thought I would be done after college. I didn't ever want to play professionally, but I think not being able to finish my most important year of basketball really, it's not the way I wanted it to end, if that makes sense.
You can add some unfinished business.
Exactly. You could say so.
What was it that you were studying while you were in college?
Yeah, I studied psychology at Sac State, and then I got my master's at the University of Nottingham in work and organizational psychology.
And did you think, you said that you weren't always planning to go pro in basketball? Was that where your career was heading, do you think?
I think so. I've always wanted to work in an athletic department at a university doing something. So it wasn't my goal to play pro at all, but I did end up getting my master's at the University of Nottingham separately from joining the Wildcats. So I actually lived in Nottingham a year before joining the team, which was good because it allowed me to heal my ankle and spend some time away from basketball. But yeah, I was thinking I was going to go into HR or something. Quite boring.
Basketball is way more fun.
I know. I was like, why would I ever think I would do that? So
how did Nottingham get into contact with yourself, and how did that whole move come about?
Yeah, I actually met, his name's Phil Wood. He is the sports recruiter for the university. I met him when I was 17 as a freshman at Sac State, and I heard him speak about playing overseas. And as a collegiate athlete, you can't travel abroad ever, but you just don't have time. And I said, oh, I like that. So when I was 17, I held on to this little pamphlet and I kept it for all 4 years. And once COVID hit, I emailed him and was like, are you looking for basketball players? And he helped sort me out and get me into a master's program. And through COVID, got me a visa. And I ended up in Knots for a year. And then I played in one game in 2020 or 2021. And Kenrick went to go watch our point guard Bray play. And she was on the opposite team. And I think he was like, who's this 6'2" E1 player that no one knows? Who is this? And so he gave me a call and explained to me what the WBBL was and explained to me what everything was. And I said, how did I not know what this was? So I felt super honored, but I didn't have an agent. I didn't seek it out. It just kind of fell in my lap, and I can say Kendrick's changed my life through a random coincidence. So it's been really, really fun since then.
And now Nottingham's home, right?
Oh yeah, it's home now. Got a house. I live there. I love it personally.
So let's talk about last season. How do you think the season went as a whole?
It was definitely a learning curve, I think, for me. I was still used to playing as I was in college, which is a lot of backseat driving, I would say. You just kind of expect to get told what to do all the time when that's not how the WBBL is. There's so smart players and very intelligent and very experienced. Like, it's very hard to be a rookie with a different mindset and then going and playing cat car. And, they play at a different level. And so I think being so new and not having as many returners last year to tell us the expectations was, I think it took us 4 or 5 months to even get to know each other, to even get to cohesion, to play a game that we felt good about. So with a late start, I think we ended better than anyone expected us to. We were only getting better when I think other teams were having dips, but obviously it's very hard to combat such a slow start. It was very difficult at the end there look at our schedule and say, well, we're ninth because of how bad we started. What can we do?
Mm-hmm. But I mean, that 102-77 win against Seven Oaks probably helped, yeah?
I mean, I think we were almost counting ourselves out before that happened. So I think that changed everything for us. That's right when we hit our stride. So if we could have done that 4 months ago, I think it would have been a different story.
Well, I mean, kind of good run in the playoffs as well. Just missing out on a place in the final by 2 points. I think, yeah, you kind of did hit your stride towards the end of the season.
I agree. Yeah. Which is frustrating, but again, leaves you wanting more, doesn't it? So
absolutely ready for this next season.
Oh yeah, I'm very ready, which makes being here even more frustrating. But I know Jay and Bray are returning and they're back home and Knott's helping everybody out. So I feel like it's in good hands.
So how do you feel about this upcoming season? Do you think Nottingham have got a good chance of making the playoffs again and having a good run in the cup competitions?
I do. I think now that we understand what it takes to play in a cup and a trophy during the season versus just playing for playoffs.
Yeah.
I think having more returners that have had successful individual, like Jay was incredible in scoring alone by herself. How incredible is it now that she has a year under her belt and she has Bray and I and other people that know how to get her the ball. And I just think our core 5 is going to be so much stronger, so much earlier. I feel really good about our chances and the overall rather than just trying to get to playoffs.
So you mentioned the cup competitions. Obviously, it's a little bit different to the way kind of it is in the American system. Yeah. What is that like playing in like, is it 4 competitions across the year really with the cup, the trophy, the league, and then the playoffs?
That's kind of how I had to see it when halfway through a few games in last year, we were talking about the cup and I had no clue what it was. I didn't understand. It didn't click with me that it was something to win. I knew that Nottingham had won it in the past. We have banners in the gym, but genuinely, I had no clue what it was. I thought it was like a weekend tournament because you can do that in the NCAA where you go and you play 5 games in 4 days and so on and so forth. I did not understand it. I will be honest. I probably didn't give it as much effort as I should have because I just thought it was, a random game. And I was like, why are we playing 2 games? So now that we understand, I think the Americans maybe need an overhaul in understanding how you guys do all the little competitions.
We just love something to win. I mean, that's it, isn't it?
I know. I just did not understand. I thought it was like a friendly. I don't know.
What's it like playing with Kenrick as coach?
I really like playing with Kenrick. I think he is one of the smartest statistical minds I've ever played with, which is great because that's how I see basketball. Is I'm a numbers person through and through as a coach's kid. Since both my parents coach, they've kind of told me points per shot ever since I was 5. I was like, what does that mean? So I think he does such an incredible job breaking down the game. Our film sessions, I think I learned so much in them. It's not ever a waste of time. I think oftentimes film, if not done correctly, just feels like just torture for an hour because you're like, why am I just watching my mistake 10 times over? But he does such a good job of intellectualizing and making sure everyone understands trying to get all the points he's trying to get across. I really like the way he coaches. I really appreciate the way he explains everything we're doing and why that person's there versus there. He's very, very different than my college coach, who was very loud, very passionate, lots of yelling, lots of cursing. That wasn't for me. I didn't resonate with that. I resonate a lot more with Kenrick's approach to motivation and all of that.
Something we didn't talk about just before, obviously we talked about Nottingham's season as a whole.
Yeah.
what were your thoughts on your individual season? Obviously, nearly 14 points a game, 14 rebounds a game, 10 points a game. What was your Eva's Player of the Week for the week? That's
Thank
very
you.
important.
I was
Yeah, what
about
are
to
your
say.
thoughts on your season?
Obviously I am my own biggest critic. I personally did not feel fulfilled in my ability because I was completing my master's during last season. I wasn't able to give individual training and I wasn't able to give it all I wanted. So almost hearing my stat line, I didn't know my stat line the whole season, but almost hearing it, it makes me frustrated because I'm like, I could have done so much more. I feel like I really never hit my own personal stride because I wasn't focusing on basketball. I was focusing on trying to finish school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for this year. I think I'll be able to bring my game out away from just being a back to the basket post and a rebounder. I think I'll always be a rebounder at heart, but now that Praise is gone, I can really focus on offensive rebounding, and rather than be someone who's just looking to pass the ball, I can definitely be more of a threat from other places on the court. That's something Kendrick and I have talked about all summer. As Praise is gone, we're less post heavy. So I think it could be really beneficial for me to work on that bit of my game. But hopefully this upcoming season, I'm able to focus a lot more on myself and my own improvement in the way that my team needs it, rather than just trying to get by every single day because I have in school for 8 hours.
Basically, you're saying WBBL, watch out.
I didn't say that.
It's that unfinished business again.
It's that unfinished. There's a theme in this conversation.
So let's have a couple of fans' questions. What do you love about Nottingham, like as in the city? What do you love about Nottingham?
Oh, I love Nottingham. I will say I am a mid-sized city person forever. Sacramento is definitely similar, obviously different scale, but I love the idea that there's not 40 million people there. There's just a few 100,000 in the greater area. This is a very American thing. I love the public transportation. That's funny to me, but I love the accessibility of it. I live in Beeston, so I live on the west side of Nottingham. And I just love the energy. I love how young it is. I do love being in a university town with so many young people. I think it's great. I think it's really a city that's improving every month that I'm there.
What are the main differences between playing in college and the WBBL?
The WBBL requires you to be more of an individual. I think you have to know yourself and your game and be able to coach yourself in tough situations. In college, I think you're almost made to be a robot. You are supposed to do what your coach says, and you are supposed to know what they would want you to do in that situation, regardless if you agree or not. The WBBL, very much so, you see it all the time with 2 seconds to go in the end of the third quarter. The coach isn't going to call a timeout as they would in college. They're going to expect you to know what to do. And so it's just a lot more freedom on the court.
Had you been to England before you came to Nottingham? No. So what were you really looking forward to seeing? Like what landmarks, I guess, were you excited to visit and things like that?
Yeah, I had actually never been over the Atlantic before I flew over to move. So I had no clue. I didn't even know where Nottingham was until I landed at Heathrow. I was so excited. I did no research. It was not smart, but I was so excited to see, this is silly, the double-decker buses in London, the red ones, and the phone booths that don't actually have phones in them anymore. But the first time I saw that, I was so excited because it feels so London, like every single puzzle that you get or every mug has it. And I don't know, I guess I forgot that that stuff doesn't really mean it anymore. You don't have to go outside to make a phone call, but it was really cool to see. It was just definitely the first thing I noticed that made me realize I wasn't in America anymore, which was really special. They always hold a bit of a soft spot in my heart.
Right, let's go for some quick fire questions. Nice and easy.
Okay. Okay.
Do you prefer McDonald's or KFC?
McDonald's.
Favorite Netflix series or TV in general? What are you watching at the moment?
Oh, I was a total Peaky Blinders person for a minute there, but I'm not currently watching a series.
Okay. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Oh, you got to go. You're in Britain now. You got to go for the tea, haven't you?
Don't tell anyone.
What's your favorite jersey number and why?
I am number 30 because my mom was number 30 in college and my dad was in high school.
Nice. Keep it in the family. I like it. What's your favorite Disney film?
Oh, my favorite Disney film or villain?
Film. Sorry, film, like the movie.
Yeah, okay. I was like, villain. I don't know. My favorite Disney movie, probably The Princess and the Frog.
Oh, okay. Interesting. What annoys you the most?
Slow walkers on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I get that one.
I need place. I gotta go. I gotta move.
What's your game day routine? Do you have something that you've got to do every game day?
I do. I always have a smoothie on game days. I don't know why. I don't care what's in it. At some point in the day, I'm drinking a smoothie for some reason. I think at this point, it's just nerves. I used to care what went in it, and now I'm like, I need frozen blueberries. I don't know.
So you got to have a smoothie every game day. What was your favorite place, like favorite arena to visit last season? What was your favorite away day?
I really like playing in the Copper Box.
Okay. What's your favorite type of pasta and why?
Oh, that's a hard one. I like ravioli because I like that it has stuffing in it. I don't like the thin noodles as much.
Okay. What is your best moment on court?
One of my best moments on court, probably in college, game time, 2 seconds to go. I need to get the rebound. We're up 2 points, and it hits me in the face, and it went out of bounds. I couldn't catch it. I got a bloody nose. I know.
What's your favorite snack?
Ooh, this is supposed to be quick fire, isn't it? I like cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers, good one. Do you have pineapple on a pizza?
I do.
Yes, everyone does. It's a clean.
It's the right.
With the guests we've had so far. Yes.
They're right.
Who's your favorite basketballer of all time?
Of all time, I'm a huge Dennis Rodman fan. At the moment, though, I just watched Sue Bird's last game, so I do have to shout her out. So,
do you have a particular team that you follow?
I'm a Seattle Storms fan in the WNBA. I do not watch the NBA.
Okay. What is your main strength as a basketballer?
I would say my ability to know where the ball is going to hit off the rim, which is why I'm a good rebounder.
Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for giving your time. It's been amazing to hear your story and kind of what makes you you. I've got one more question. Okay. And that is to finish this sentence. I love basketball because.
I love basketball because it's my favorite thing in the world, and it's always been a part of my community. I love it. I love the people. I need to be around the competition.
And you've been playing it since you were 3.
I don't know anything else. It's been good to me.
I just want to say good luck for the rest of the season. Well, not the rest of the season, the season.
Thank you.
It'll be great to see you play again. And I think Nottingham might cause some problems this season.
Keep an eye out for us. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. This was really fun.
Right. I'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Well, what a great chat we had there with Kennedy Nicholas of the Nottingham Wildcats. It was fascinating to hear her story, as I said, and I can't wait to see what she gets up to in the WBBL this season. Unfinished business, remember? Unfinished business. Well, let's quickly go on to the latest news. So, we've got pre-season well underway now. We've got Leicester Riders travelling to Sweden. We've had London Lions travelling to Slovenia. And if you haven't seen their social media recently, they're all over that trip to Slovenia, so get on there now. Signings have still been coming in. Essex Rebels with some more big signings. Again, across the league, there's been some coming in, so check out that Hoops Fix tracker. Keep up to date with that. We've also had Eva's Player of the Week badges being released, ready for the new season. So a huge thank you to Emily, who designed these on Twitter during our little competition. Let's have a look at the winning design. If you're on a different podcast form, I do apologise. They're on our social media, so go and have a look. But here we go. There is the design of Eva's Player of the Week badges, which you will hand out every week to the winner of the award. So it's been an amazing episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel, just so you don't miss any more content. We've got plans for every week of this season. Content is going to keep coming in, especially as the new season starts. We are travelling down to London for the London versus Sevenoaks game as part of the opening weekend, so we'll have loads coming from that game. I'm actually at Leicester Riders Newcastle Eagles pre-season match, which is on the Friday today when this comes out. You may be listening in future, but I'll be at that match. Get some more content for you there. So thank you very much for listening. It's been incredible to be with you again, and I will see you soon.